Assalamualaikum and good afternoon to lecturer and fellow student. My name is Wan Fatin Fazal binti Wan Saadi and my friends No Ainul Bazilah binti Ismail and No Khalisah binti Muhammad Khalid. Today my group will present about current issues, determination of pricing in Malaysia.
Okay, next objective. First, to discuss the determination price of house by developer. Second, to explain the determination price of rubber in Malaysia. And third, to know about determination price of oil petrol in Malaysia.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. My name is Wan Fatin Fazal binti Wan Saadi. Today I will present about the determination price of house by developers. The rise in house price has become a very serious issue in Malaysia. Price increase persistent has caused many among buyers to be unable to buy a house. We can see it in the figure 1, mean a median of all house price by state Q3 2019. Often these price increases are linked to the influence of demand factors and home price deals. Various measures have been taken to curb price increases home for the purpose of enabling buyers to own a home. But the price hike seems to be unstoppable. The question is whether the factors are the determinants of resignation house price by the developer. The factor of price reduction by housing developers has been subdivided to two main factors, which is internal and external factors. Analysis of research findings found that there are a number of factors that are realization of house price by developers. First, for external factors, there are 5 factors from the external factors, which is distance or location factors, which is social environment, home design, speculation, and physical status and safety factors. Let's go to the distance or location factors. It may be cliché, but location is one of the key factors in determining your property value. For example, in the Klang Valley, in general, the closer your property is to the city center, the higher the value. That is why house price in Kuala Lumpur Commission Centre have been rising sharply in the last decade. However, location is also associated with several other factors. If your home is near something undesirable, such as cemetery, power station, or waste disposal area, this could affect its value. Second, social environment. If your property near the newly opened major highway may increase its value. Good road networks and public transit facilities such as LRT and MRT stations are a major advantage today. Many buyers living in urban areas make their decision based on the time it takes to get to work. Location close to facilities such as private clinic and hospital, international or private education institution, and schools can also increase property value. This so-called hotspot make your home and neighborhood a great place to live. Next, home design. This is closely related to the previously mentioned matters of age and quality, as the property age may be plagued with problems and issues that need to be addressed, from the plumbing system to the roof. For example, this is where the importance of continuous maintenance is, as with the health of the human body, property should also be constantly inspected to detect any damage. Well-maintained properties will have a better long-term rating than abandoned properties. Assessment tip. The appraiser will take into account the work of innovation that enhance the aesthetic value and suitability of a property, such as first, new floor, second, permit extension, third, built-in cabinets and cabinets, fourth, ceiling plaster, fifth, grinding, sixth, alarm system, and lastly, automatic gate system. Let's go to the physical status and safety factors are among factors used by the developer in determining the price of a unit being built. A good security system will cause developers to raise house price. For example, it has a 24 hours guard and a home-based CCTV tool. This also affects the determination of each unit of house price to be higher. But if one of those houses does not have a system of control, the house price may be low and it can be bought by the less fortunate. Last but not least, speculation. The quality of your home or its construction work is another key element in maintaining the value of your assets. Remember, the quality of construction materials used, wooding made of high quality. Materials may last longer before they need to be repaired. We often hear about homes built decades ago but are still able to attract premium price due to the quality of the materials, the workmanship, and the design of the structure. For example, the decades-old terrace house in Taman Tun Dr. Ismail and Bangsa are good examples. This unit may be just basic houses, but they are now worth at least 1.5 million each. On the other hand, many buyers complain that expensive units offered by today's leading developers have only moderate build quality due to the use of sub-materials to reduce costs. Then you must do a true inspection first. Don't be fooled by marketing gimmicks like brochure and exciting free gift. The last main factor is for internal factors. Have three. First, lending rates. Second, green technology use. And third, friendly use environment and housing. First, lending rates. Lending rates are a problem when home prices are so high they can't afford to pay for people who are not able to afford them. Many are unable to pay bank loans because the approved percentage is very high. This is an internal factor that many have to deal with. Second, green technology use. The use of green technology has been one of the factors that has led to highest price. This is because developers who use green technology have high demand, which is why the price of the house is rising. Third, friendly use environment and housing taxes have influenced the pricing decision by the developers. A good home environment is a factor that determines the price of a home. A good environment can make home buyers happy and comfortable. In addition, home taxes are also a factor in pricing because when home taxes are higher, then home prices are rising. The implication in determining home price. The drastic increase in the cost of living is very important interferes with the people's situation due to insufficiency, income to meet basic needs as well the burden of debt borne to cover it rising cost of goods, service and needs daily. Despite the growth of the domestic economy grew stronger in the first quarter of the year 2014, was between 5 and 5.5%. Malaysia is one of the countries with the highest high debt for household compared to other countries at 140%. This is bad signs that will bring variety negative effects on psychological, social, safety and even unemployment. First, psychology. The major adverse effects identified are from psychological angle. A person's psychology will be affected than the inability to explain the burden debt. An individual will feel depressed facing this situation that will invite symptoms stress such as difficulty sleeping, loss of appetite, headache, anxiety, irritability, and so on. Next, social. The increase in cost of living also affects social aspect. When household income is not possible to cover the expenses, then the individual had to find a part-time or additional job to meet the needs of those who do not spend enough. This will cause the individual had to do two jobs, namely continue work extra after the actual work is over. Due to the business of work, quality time with the children less, especially for them who have already lived up the stress and will eventually affect family situation. If persistently, it causes social problems such as divorce, fighting, abuse, and as well as social symptoms among adolescents in Malaysia today. Third, security. Security are also affected by rising cost living expenses that exceed income per capita people today. Heavy criminal activities such as theft, robbery, and even kidnapping happening lately and showing improvement every year according to the monitoring team Malaysia Crime. The main factor is causing this serious crime to continue due to the scarcity of money to spend and to get luxury right away with rising price of goods, service, as well as the basic needs. Last but not least, unemployment. In the current economic crisis, workers at the private sector is either a company or a factor dismissed. University or college graduates, on the other hand, it is difficult to get a job due to the parties' employers who want to reduce the cost of employment and also reduce operating costs. As a result, an individual has no sources of income and situation. This increases the unemployment rate in Malaysia. The unemployment rate in Malaysia is 2.8% by June 2014, and the impact of this unemployment will causing poverty among the people. At the same time, national income through tax collection of individual and company are also affected. Conclusion, in general, there are two factors that influence the housing price among the developers, namely internal and external factors. The finding of the analysis show that housing developers in the study area tend to use internal factors as a key factor in considering housing price. Among the factors that greatly influence the consideration of pricing among developers is the characteristic of the house structure. In this regard, the shared concept and breadth of home construction has had a significant impact on the housing price allocation. In addition, distance and location are also important factors in the values of the residential unit price set by the developer. Therefore, to counter the problem of rising housing prices, the government needs to emphasize on the ability of consumers to buy at certain rates. In this case, the government can put ceiling price on certain types of home structures. This is necessary to ensure that the units being built meet the demand and capacity of the buyer. At the same time, the problem of rising costs of housing prices that are difficult to control can be overcome. In addition, the developer can also work with the government to review consumer loan policies with the revision of the loan policies as well. The real estate developer can also borrow money from banks with low interest rates. Then the cost of construction will be lower and house price will go down. Also, the need review the applicable tax rates. The developer may propose that tax such as 6% housing tax be abolished so that construction costs will be lower. This is because when the housing tax is under control, the implication of home price can also be kept from rising. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Ainul Basila binti Ismail. Today I will present about determination price of rubber in Malaysia. Rubber was introduced by British colonists to Singapore in 1877 via Brazil, Djurgården in London and Sri Lanka. Therefore, within a decade after it was introduced, slash and burn farmers in remote part of the Southeast Asian planted rubber trees in their cultivated plots. Malaysia had an ideal climate, soil for rubber, and plenty of land. Its effect production increased dramatically after the 1890s when there was a huge surge in demand for rubber. For many years then, rubber was Malaysia's primary export. Also, rubber has been one of the most important commodities in the history of Malaysian economy. This is because in 2017, Malaysia is a manufacturer and exporter of natural rubber, the fifth largest after Thailand, Indonesia, Vietnam and China. Malaysia accounted for 46% of total rubber production in the world and produced about 1 to 5 million tons of rubber annually. Malaysia has 1.7 million hectares of rubber, which the plantation companies own 7.21%. Malaysia Rubber Board is a government agency under the Ministry of Plantation Industry and Communities. It was established with the specific purpose to control research, technical development, control of the market and work to help the promotion Malaysia Rubber Company. Malaysia has been at the forefront of technical advancement since the dawn of the century. The rubber industry gives millions of ringgit every year to carry out the activity of R&D. The fund rises through research at 3.85 cents per kilogram of rubber exported. It used to carry out research led by the Malaysia Rubber Board. In chart 1 shows about export of Malaysian rubber product. Malaysia export of rubber product declined by 1.3% to RM23.3 billion in 2019 compared to RM23.6 billion of 2018. Latex item remain the largest contributor to Malaysia export of rubber product, accounting for 81% of total export of rubber product in 2019. Export of non-latex item increased by 2% to RM4.4 billion in 2019. Besides that, the latex product subsector is the largest subsector within the rubber product industry and comprises 100 to 25 manufacturers producing gloves, condoms, catheters, latex thread, and others. This subsector accounted for 81% of the rubber total of value of export. Largely contributed by glove, catheters, and latex thread. Malaysia continued to maintain its position as the world leading producer export of catheters, latex thread, and natural rubber medical glove. In chart 2 shows about export of rubber product by destination 2019. The United States and Europe Union remain the largest market for Malaysian rubber product, contribute 55% to total export of rubber. Even Malaysia remains the world leading supplier of medical gloves, surgical and examination gloves by meeting more than 50 of the total world demand. Malaysia is one of the world leading supplier of new tires, Foley, catheters and latex thread. All the export of rubber product by destination in 2019 is RM23.3 billion. Malaysia is a net export of natural rubber. This is because Malaysia rubber products are currently exported to various countries globally. The USA, European Union, China, Japan and Singapore are the largest import for Malaysia rubber products. Factor affecting the price of rubber. First, lowered supply of natural rubber. This is because it depends on several factors such as the size of melted rubber that can be tapped, the number of tapping days and productivity of clone-planted rubber and rubber price in the market. When rubber price is high in the market, it will encourage smallholder to tap. In addition, the once abundant rubber plantation is be recultivated, thus increasing the supply of natural rubber in the market. On the other hand, the price of rubber is not variable in the market will affect the supply of rubber tapping days, decrease and increase areas that can be tapped. And the second factor is stock of rubber. The quantity or amount of rubber stored in equivalent to 2 months of use. Excess of stock will cause excess supply of rubber in the market, which could affect the price of rubber in the global market. According to International Rubber Study Group, the quantity of the world natural rubber stock in 2013 was the 2 million tons. The International Rubber Study Group data on production, demand and rubber stock for the period 2000 to 2030 as well as data from the Association of Natural Rubber Producing Countries. Current issue about rubber. As was reported in Malay Mail on 18 April 2020, among the issues are the COVID-19 pandemic will drive up the rubber price in the market to a higher level as well as increase the demand for Malaysia rubber gloves this year, said the Malaysia Rubber Board. The Director General Datuk Dr. Zairul Sani Muhammad Nur said, economy experts had projected that Malaysia would control 65% of the global rubber glove market in 2020, up to 3% from 62% share currently. He said the 3% increase is equivalent to RM3 billion additional income to the country, but this depends on the COVID-19 situation. Dr. Zainul Sani said, during any pandemic, the rubber industry and sector related the healthcare are among the sectors that will give the benefit, especially the rubber glove sector. Besides the rubber glove, they also manufacture catheters, a device for surgery. And he said, in the face of low rubber price, the savior of the rubber industry in Malaysia is the glove sector, which is expected to grow by 5 to 20%, depends on COVID-19 development. Rubber price is controlled by the global market. Generally, looking at the historical performance of the industry, it goes up and down. This is cycle and currently for 2020, it is in the down cycle. In the last word, he said he's confident that have the foresight that Malaysia rubber industry has a bright future in store for it. For the conclusion, Malaysia rubber industry has evolved through the years and transformed itself into a more integrated industry, where the rapid development of the mid and downstream industry has made the industry a multi-billion ringgit one. With this development, the competitiveness of the rubber industry as whole has been greatly enhanced. The government should intervention, the gift policy and encouragement may also affect the natural rubber price, influenced by International Natural Rubber Organization, which joined by the produce countries, may also affect the movement of natural rubber price. On the other hand, China, as the major producer of rubber-based products, may influence by the market price as China is the major import and natural rubber consumption in the world.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Kalisa. I would like to present about determination price of oil petrol in Malaysia. Firstly, Malaysian oil price are regulated and subsidized by the Malaysian government. As of 2008, the government spends $14 million on petrol, oil, diesel, and natural gas subsidies each year. Then, in 2013, this amount to RM 24.8 billion. Second, as mentioned, is also a country producing petroleum, and any impact of rising oil price on the world market can be limited and controlled to some extent. We know Malaysia mainly exports oil, and it also imports oil from other countries. It because the price at the pump are low and the costs and commissions of the company are different. Then the operators are returned to the government in the form of tax. Next, the rising price of fuel used in the global market will deeply affect the development and planning of the future structure the country's economy. Because of that, it also indirectly causes a rise in human daily needs such as food farms and public transport that almost all consumers use. And the government is taking steps to raise food price in the local market to constrain the increase in government subsidy. Change of oil price in government. Oil price fluctuations have occurred since 2008. It also shows a series of increase and even declines in gasoline price in line with the fluctuations in crude oil price in the world market. From 1 September 2009, RON 92 petrol was discontinued in sales and replaced with RON 95. Meanwhile, the quality of the RON 95 was in accordance with the Euro 2M specification, and it started to sell at RM 1.75 ringgit before being raised to RM 1.80 ringgit. And in the same time, RON 75 price up to RM 2.05 ringgit. And on 1 December 2014, the Malaysian government has officially terminated subsidies for all types of fuel, and a managed float system is in place to set price for two fuel injectors that meet the weekly market rate. The establishment of a Petronas oil company in Malaysia. As we know, Petronas is a bigger company in Malaysia. This company can earn many profit every year, but not all people know what means Petronas. Petronas is short for National Petroleum Limited, established on 17 August 1974. Firstly, a Malaysian multinational oil and gas company and popular in whole world. It's only agency set up by the Malaysian government to regulate petroleum production in Malaysia. By the way, Petronas is one of the world's largest firms in the list of 500 important global, and the placed Petronas as the 95th largest company in the world in 2008 and the 80th largest in 2009. in Asia has 4 subsidiaries listed on Bursa Malaysia, then has visited over 33 countries worldwide globally, especially in Sudan, Iraq, Indonesia, and Thailand. All activities, the upstream and downstream, of Shell, Exxon, BP, Esso, and others offshore Malaysia were controlled by Petronas. Petronas earned a net profit of Rm 26.56 billion on 30 September 2017 for the last 6 months. Then, Petronas continued to grow as an oil and gas company with business interests in 31 countries as at the end of March 2005. The group comprised 103 owning subsidiaries and 19 partially owned, then also partially owned companies, then 57 united companies. Petronas' vision was becoming the world's leading oil and gas company and start this globalization effort in 1994. Petronas are growing, especially in the states of Sarawak, Sabah, and Terengganu. Petronas University of Technology has also been built in Seri Iskandar, Perak, because in Perak has much drenched tin. And the success of Petronas on the world stage invites the political and economic implications of many countries and give more profit in our country. In year 2020, there is no significant difference in oil price as the government has postponed the granting of target oil subsidies and the flotation should start in early 2020. But the world was hit by COVID-19. The severely disrupt the country's economic stability, including Malaysia. End of the January 2020, RON 97 decreased to 4 cents to Rm 2.49 ringgit from Rm 2.53 ringgit. Then, in early March, RON 95 decreased dramatically every week from Rm 2.08 ringgit to Rm 1.25 ringgit, and RON 97 from Rm 2.65 ringgit to Rm 1.55 ringgit, and diesel from 2.8 ringgit to Rm 1.40 ringgit. Next, factors of rising petrol price in Malaysia. First, the factors is politics from abroad. Politics is a force that can control the entire people for support and maintain a greater and better position. The crisis that led to the uprising in several oil-producing countries such as Libya, Nigeria, and probably happened with Kurdistan about the announcement of independence from Iraq with Turkey threatened and helped oil export from the turbulent regions that led to oil price rising. OPEC is short from the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries. Is an intergovernmental organization established in 1960 in Baghdad by Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia. An agreement was reached and signed in November 2016 among OPEC countries. Although Malaysia is not a member of the OPEC, but the oil-producing countries of the Saudi Arab agreed to limit oil production, then conflict arose in oil production area. Their efforts to reduce production, cooperation between OPEC countries such as Malaysia and Russia are responsible for producing nearly 55% of the world oil demand and managed to reduce production by 1.8 million barrels a day, with equivalent 2% of total world production. And the lastly is originate from the American state. OPEC and Russia countries announced a cooperation agreement between them on 30 November 2017 and other oil-producing countries to extend the oil production until the end of 2018. The risks posed by American arms mixing are expected to increase oil production and cause supply to be overstayed. Because of that, by increasing oil production in America has little economic power in determining oil price in OPEC, and other oil producing countries could be reduced. After this, factor of decline petrol price in Malaysia from COVID-19. Like we know, COVID-19 is new epidemic hit the whole world. Economists argue that falling oil price as a result of the COVID-19 outbreak entirely only hurt China economy, but its impact continues to worsen worldwide today. According to senior professor of the Faculty of Economics and Business of the University Sarawak, Professor Datuk Dr. Shazali Abu Mansur said the COVID-19 caused global oil demand to fall and decline. Global oil demand has been affected and many countries have decided to restrict air travel or land. Then also even the world population choose not to travel. Then Professor Dr. Ahmad Razman Abdul Latif also expects oil price to remain low as the result of COVID-19. Therefore, the government must continue to monitor the impact of global crude oil price and take appropriate measures to ensure the welfare and well-being of the people. The conclusion is these prices are crucial in a major commodity and resource to control the economy. Rather, it also serves as a guide for consumers in the buying and selling of price increase or decrease. So, if housing price go up, employment will rise because of insufficient finance and some who are in debt to buying. It costs houses are important assets and place of residence. Moreover, it also affects rubber price as the country resource is much needed and needs to expertly. So, it covers the whole industry and earns a lot of profit. Then, petrol was the main revenue for the government to cover the country's rising cost of living. Lastly, the government plays an important role in controlling price, mostly for the benefit of the people. Thank you.